And so, with frost-bitten knuckles and blackened thumbs, the men of Trikes-RUS welcomed in the new year beneath the soot-laced rafters of their little Cleveland manufactory. The second assembly station, installed in a fit of optimism and funded by the sale of 24 don't-turns to a carnival company of dubious solvency, has done little more than confuse the staff and double the errors. One might say the only thing now running smoothly at Trikes-RUS is the coffee grinder, kept constantly spinning to appease the parade of clients demanding free refreshments in lieu of actual vehicle quality.
Now, see here, young fella. Before you go slandering my factory with your quill and pessimism, let me remind you of the principles upon which this company was built. Efficiency, simplicity, and above all, wheel conservation. A fourth wheel is not but an indulgence for the lazy and the paranoid. Our trikes are sleek, elegant, and practical.
Yes, of course, mister. What was it again?
Jeremiah Aloysius Brambley, engineer laureate and visionary of Trikes-RUS, at your service.
Indeed, Mr. Brambley. One might argue that your sleek and practical design has spent more time in roadside ditches and horse troughs than on the open road. But I digress.
We've sold 111 don't turn, sir. That's 111 satisfied customers, or at least 111 transactions where the check didn't bounce.
And what do we have to show for it, Mr. Brambley? A tidy fortune of $2,000, which would be impressive were it not for the fact that each time your engineers attempt to streamline the process, they somehow forget the engine mount.
That's because they're distracted by the fourth-wheelers, filling their heads with nonsense. A man ought not to require a team of oxen to maneuver into a parking space. 3 wheels. 3. It's the number of the divine, the triangle, the holy trinity of motion.
And yet, your holy trinity can barely take a right turn on cobblestone without inducing vertigo in its driver.
Well, the fourth wheel is a lie. It is a crutch. If you wish to stand with the future, sir, you must do so upon 3 wheels, or not at all.
In any case, Trikes-RUS marches onward, if not upward. Sales remain sporadic, progress incremental, and the bank account sufficiently threadbare. But hope, like a stubborn axle bolt, endures. If only the don't turn could go more than a fortnight without throwing a piston, or heaven forbid, adding a fourth wheel.
Over my dead 3-wheeled body. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed customers and fellow admirers of the petrol-propelled tricycle, permit me a moment of your time. It is with no small measure of pride that I unveil to you the latest advancement in the fine lineage of the don't turn. Color. Yes, color. Applied with brush and care, by hand. Your don't turn may now arrive not only as a marvel of mechanical economy, but as a vision of visual delight.
Oh, please, Harold. Don't stand there and act as though you thought of it while pacing amongst your sprockets. If it weren't for me, you'd still be issuing these poor people vehicles the color of boiled gruel.
Edwina, my dear, this is a technical presentation. Kindly allow the engineer to engineer.
And the marketer to market. Which is to say, me. It was I who told you repeatedly and in great detail that if we continued peddling vehicles that looked like a smog stain on cobblestone, we'd lose what little appeal we had among Cleveland's upper crust.
I will admit that my dear wife, while prone to theatricality, did float the notion of a decorative hue enhancement.
Oh, don't try and polish it in engineering talk. It's paint, Harold. It's red and blue and cream, and even that darling pheasant plum I found in Madame Thistlewick's wallpaper catalog. People want to be seen in these machines. No one wants to look like they drove out of a coal chute.
Machines should run, not prance.
And husbands should listen, not mumble. Harold, you're a mechanical savant, yes, but you wouldn't know fashion if it struck you in the boot with a parasol. Do you recall the client who said she refused to be seen in something that looked abandoned by a riveter in mourning?
She was wearing ostrich feathers. Her taste is suspect.
Nevertheless, she's ordering 2 don't turns in Sunset Blush.
That does sound profitable.
Then say it, Harold. Say that your wife saved your 3-wheeled contraption with fashion.
The Don't Turn, now available in an array of fashionable colors. Thanks to the insightful suggestions of Mrs. Brambley.
You're welcome. Now then, do we have time to discuss lace trim?
Absolutely not. After 5 industrious years of wrenching, spilling, and unmitigated triumph, we have hired an engineer. Yes, a real one. With spectacles and papers, from a school no less. No more shall our blueprints be drawn with soup spoons on lunch napkins. No more shall the Don't Turn be entirely inspired by my nephew's tricycle. This new mind, recently expelled from the Erie Institute for Excessive Innovation, has brought us ideas. Raucous, unproven, but intriguing nonetheless. He babbles of electric lamps, pneumatic tires, a horn that does not sound like a coughing goose. And lo, the boy has sketched a new machine, a sleeker Don't Turn, a faster Don't Turn. A Don't Turn with 4 wheels? Let me make one thing abundantly clear. I will not, under any mortal circumstance, produce a vehicle with 4 wheels. 4 wheels are for carts, circus wagons, and the morally bankrupt. No man alive needs that much balance. Still, we shall display it. Yes, as a curiosity, a marketing bauble, a tantalizing glimpse of the imaginary. We'll paint it, yes, in color. I'm told that sells. See how the crowds gather. See how they marvel. And when they beg for one of their own, we'll kindly redirect them to a proper machine. A true testament to engineering restraint. 3 wheels, 1 cylinder, maximum wobble. Because at Trikes-RUS, we don't build what the world wants. We build what it deserves.
It is with a curious mix of admiration and astonishment that I must report on the continued employment, if not emotional endurance, of the young Trikes-RUS newly appointed engineer, whose ideas flow faster than our treacle-thick assembly line. In the months since his arrival, the lad has penned no fewer than 3 prospective redesigns of the Don't Turn. These included such unhinged fantasies as a water-cooled engine powered by kerosene and pure arrogance, a backward-facing seat for the passenger, which Mr. Brambley labeled cowardly, and, most heretically, the persistent inclusion of a 4th wheel, a mechanical offense Mr. Brambley equates with both sorcery and French cuisine. Each prototype, upon completion, was met with a dramatic rejection. Mr. Brambley, after a brief sniff, would wave his hand as though dispelling an odor.
Too stable.
He once declared of a particularly handsome model.
Untrustworthy.
He said of another, citing its ability to travel in a straight line without tipping, and most memorably,
that machine corners like it intends to.
Yet, despite this onslaught of dismissal, not a single one of the young engineer's machines was scrapped. No, each was rolled, polished, and propped upon the factory lot like a trophy from some parallel world where logic had triumphed over pride. They were given names like Farfa Nugget, or my personal favorite, Doom Buggy. Customers were guided past them like royalty on tour, each vehicle a gleaming beacon of what they would not be receiving. Oddly enough, the presence of these showpieces did improve business. Patrons would marvel at the innovation, murmur about the future, then proceed to buy a good old-fashioned Don't Turn to return to a machine that promised no surprises and delivered a perfectly respectable lurch. As for Mr. Brambley, he remains as resolute as the third wheel itself.
Innovation must be kept at arm's length, admired, even flirted with, but never allowed to drive.
And so the engineer scribbles on, the factory clatters away, and the Don't Turn continues to wobble its proud, three-legged march into the uncertain dawn of modernity.